Welcome everyone back to the channel. I am Zach, your host here on the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel, and today is the fourth part to the Halloween Countdown Series 2020. Welcome back everyone to the channel, and we are reviewing a movie it's not necessarily a scary movie, but it is definitely one very intense, one very suspenseful movie. And I'm talking about Don't Breathe, a movie that came out in 2016 and was received actually quite well. It was received quite well by critics and fans alike. So, I want to thank everyone who came out last week, not for just the one part, but both parts, our special drop and last week's third video of this series. I want to thank everyone who came in and watched that with us last year. Susie doing it last week, amazing video. I want to thank everyone for jumping in and everyone for watching. I think I finally got the ambiance down with the candles. So, woohoo, me! Took forever, but I finally got it. So, yeah. This was a movie. I understand this isn't necessarily a horror movie, but it definitely has horror elements. It's definitely a movie that has you on the edge of your seat. It has its villain, but it's a villain that you're kind of like, I don't know, maybe what he's doing is not all that bad. Maybe those who are there deserve what they're getting. And it's weird to look at that in a movie that, I mean, it's a pretty damn good movie, I guess. I don't know. But this was released by Sony Pictures in 2016, directed by Fede Alvarez, a very good director who's got, well, quite a few good movies out there. And it stars Stephen Lang, Jane Levy, Dylan Mennonite? I don't know how to pronounce his last name. And Daniel Zavato. Of course, he's Money, Dylan is Alex, and Jane is Rocky. And these are three individuals. They live in Detroit. Obviously, none of them are exactly in the best of circumstances when it comes to their home lives or financial. So they're doing a lot of petty thefts, going around robbing some people. Rocky, though, is just trying to get the money up to do something better for her and her daughter. And you see that when you see her in the scenes with her daughter, and her daughter's talking about going to a beach, and then she's like, oh, I want to, but she really wants to, and she can't. So like I said, they all have very bad home lives. And Money ends up getting a tip off after they rob this one place. And you see him go in there, and he's pissing all this. And she's like trying on clothes. So you can tell she really does want something better, something more. And Alex is just kind of there because Rocky's there. You can tell right away he's got a thing for her. But Money is her boyfriend. Or as he called her, that's his bitch, I guess. But they get a tip on a house that's got a lot of cash, up to $300,000, he's told. And that ends up being the man who they rob in this movie. Local area. No other houses around. He's the only house left on the block, so no police presence. So, and Alex, he's hesitant at first, but Alex convinces him. And like I said, Rocky convinces him, but like I said, you can really tell he has those feelings for her. So when they stake out the house, and they're having issues getting in. Doors locked a certain way, all the windows are barred up. This guy, he's former military, and he's blind. They find out he's blind while they're staking the house out, but they do finally getting in through a bathroom. And right as soon as she gets in, they immediately start, like, the camera shots are a lot of panning shots, a lot of long shots. They're really establishing the house and different things in the house. So you get very familiar with the house very quickly. So they get in, and they start looking for the money, and they're looking in the closets, and they're doing what they would normally do if they got into a house and there were people there. Money ends up going upstairs, setting up a little bit of a bomb to kind of keep him asleep, some sleeping gas. He wakes up in the middle of that, and you're like, oh yeah, it's blind. It's really creepy. It's really creepy to see him there blind, and this guy, I would be terrified if I was in the middle of this and this guy's just sat up and he's staring at my direction, but he doesn't notice I'm there. That'd be so weird. And it's a very, very creepy visual. So, like I said, they start to establish everything, and you start to notice certain things. Money, he comes back downstairs. He's all of a sudden being loud, being belligerent. He pulls a gun, and Alex right away is like, no, I'm not comfortable with this. You've now given him the right to shoot us. And he's like, oh, he's asleep. I got this. So he's trying to break down the door. He takes a water bottle onto the front of the pistol and uses it as a silencer. And all of a sudden, the old man is down there. At this point, Alex has already left. It's just Rocky and Money. And Rocky, you can tell, cares about Alex. And you can tell Money just, it's like, look, be a good little boy and stay in the friend zone, man. Stay in the friend zone. But the old man comes down, and he's just like, who's there? And they back up, and Money being the big guy, oh, it's just me, man. I'm going to leave. And then he notices this door is broken open because they're looking for the money, and they assume it's downstairs. Well, it ain't money downstairs. That's not what they're going to find down there. So him and Money get into a bit of a confrontation where Money, tries pulling the gun on him, and he's like, no. Trying to play it off like, I'm just an old blind man. But then this old man fucks him up. He's choking him out, acts like he's going to let him go, and then shoots him through the jaw, through the side of his head. And I like in these certain shots, and it's not just this, but like when the gun goes off, it's a very loud, very piercing sound. When an alarm's going off, it really messes with his hearing. And there's certain scenes where they really just kind of like drown all the sound out, and you just hear like this buzzing sound. Almost as if you were a deaf person, or maybe that sense was super intensified for you. That's really nice. So then he starts fixing the house, tries to repair things, shutting everything up. And as he's going through this, he notices a second pair of shoes. Now, Alex has come back in. He's already locked them, or Rocky's back in. They're locked in. Yeah, Alex. It was Alex. Sorry. It's a moment. But he gets back in. And they do find this. They find the safe because the blind man, he gets into it, and it's way more than $300K. It's like $1 million. So she's like, I gotta get this money. So she's getting that money. They're trying to sneak out. The old man, he's dragging Money's body somewhere else, and there's a little creak, and he notices it. Phone goes off, so he shoots the phone. He goes to keep taking him. And then when he goes to do something else, that's when he notices the shoe. So they go down into the basement. They're like, if we can get through the basement, we can get out. We'll have the money. We're in the clear, right? Well, they find something in the basement that they're not exactly sure. This basement's like a maze. It's like this gigantic maze that they're having a hard time getting through. And so they're in there, and all of a sudden, this woman lunges at them, but she's got this cord, and that rings a bell upstairs, so he's automatically like, oh. So he's starting to book it. He's starting to grab stuff. He's booking it downstairs. One thing about this movie that I really like is there's really actually not a lot of jump scares, per se. I mean, there's scenes that are going to make you, but it's more natural. The way this old man is, with him being blind, he's creepy. He's super creepy, and I love the way Fede Alvarez set this movie up, the way that he established the shot so you knew the house. And just how, like, whenever the old man would just pop up, it would just be like he'd just pop up out of nowhere, out of a corner. And you feel that fear that they're feeling throughout this movie. Again, it's not a scary movie, but it's a very intense, very heightened sense of fear, but it's not a horror movie, if that makes any sense. Probably not. So yes, they're trying to get out. This woman's here. She's locked up. She's chained up. And Rocky's wanting to help her. And acts like, no, we gotta go. It's right there through this door. We gotta go. And she's like, no. Now, you find out earlier that this man's daughter was killed by a drunk driver. Well, this girl ends up being the girl who hit his daughter, and she's chained up because she shows them the note. And they're like, oh my God, it's her. So they get the keys out of another safe. They get her unlocked. They're getting to this door, but it's locked, and there's another slide and another bolt. So they finally get unlocked. He opens it. Now the mofo is standing above them. This guy's like Jason Voorhees. He's just there. And he's pop, and it hits Alex right in the ear. And he keeps shooting, and he kills the girl that was in there. So they scramble. He notices she's dead, and he starts screaming, no. No, and he becomes uber mad. He is uber mad at this point. He shuts the power off. He's shooting at them. And basically the rest of this is him chasing them, trying to get a hold of them, and them trying to hide, and then split up, and then back together. And she tries crawling through a vent. They're trying to get to the front door. They're trying to get through windows upstairs. They're like trapped mice throughout the next like 20 minutes of this movie. Maybe most of the second act going into the third act. And there's a lot of very intense moments. There's a scene where they're in a laundry room. It's Alex and the old man. And it's a very intense scene. Because he's just sitting there and it's no sound. But he's just sitting there and he's just listening, waiting for anything. And you just hear that breath. And he goes into attack mode. And then he's got his dog that's just vicious as all get out as well. And you're just like, oh my gosh. You feel for them almost. And you're scared just like they would be. It's so good. It's just the way he's able to set this, it's great. But when he gets his hands on these individuals, he's so savage. He's not just punching all the way through. He's like these short, stiff punches, like very impactful punches. And he makes it look real. It looks like he's messing them up. And something else I kind of noticed, like, like I said, they're trying to find their way out. She's going through this air vent, and he's caught. It's like every time they start to get away, they make a bunch of noise. Do they not realize the guy is blind? He's going to hear a little bit better than we do. Like, when she's going through this thing, and I'm not giving away any major spoilers, okay? Not going to do that. But, holy crap. Excuse me. It's been a day. She's kicking her way out of this vent. She's finally getting out. There's one that goes downstairs and one that goes out. She starts kicking it loud as hell. Do you not think he's going to hear her? Of course he does. He grabs her and pulls her back in. And there's a lot of scenes like that where they're just putting themselves into unnecessary situations that they don't need to put themselves into, but they continue to. So yeah, it leaves you kind of like, you don't really feel that bad for them at times because they're trying to rob this guy. That was the whole point. They came into this man's house to rob him. Money brought the gun. He is, by definition, defending himself. Now, to be fair, he does definitely go into overkill, but I do find myself finding it hard to root for Alex and Rocky because, like I said, they very much kind of just get what's coming to them. They have an opportunity to maybe get the cops there to help them out, but Rocky's hesitant because she's more concerned about the money. Sure, she's got a shit home life. She's got a mother there with a boyfriend who's probably way younger than her. It's just making it really bad for her, and she just wants something better for her daughter. But at the same time, is it worth your life? It's kind of where you're left. And I think that's intentional in this movie. They want you to be conflicted with these individuals. Yes, you know what this guy is doing is way bad. But at the same time, what you're doing exactly wasn't right either. And you're stealing from him. It's not the other way around. So that's what makes him not necessarily a bad guy, but just someone, I guess, defending. But he's maybe a little crazy. And you can tell throughout the movie, he's definitely crazy. So he takes her downstairs after knocking her out with a really nasty punch. He ties her up, strings her up, talks about how he was going to let this girl go when she delivered his baby. He's been injecting his own stuff into this girl, and he got her pregnant and promised her she had her freedom whenever she had his kid. And he's like, I'm done waiting. And he's going to do it to her. And she's screaming and kicking, no, no. And he's like, he grabs her. He says, when I have this child, I will give you your freedom back. And me and Susie and my friend Seth, we're all just kind of sitting there. We're just kind of like, maybe that beats the alternative of him killing you. Because at this point, she's really got no other recourse, no other way out. But as he's about to, with the, no shit, a turkey baster, right as he's cut her pants open, no sooner he's about to inject that stuff into her, Alex shows up with the hammer and knocks the dude out. Like, literally, just in the nick of time. So they start to get up out of the house, but the dog's up there, so they're trying to deal with the dog again. And right as they get the door open, something else happens. She's chased. She's trying to get away. The ending of this is like, it keeps going. And I'm trying not to give the ending away, but the ending is, there is no clear-cut, like, definitive end to this. Minor spoiler, she does make it out, but he's not dead either. And neither of them are going to be talking. So it does leave you open to the possibility of a sequel, of him maybe trying to go back after her. Like I said, this was in 2016, so that's like a minor spoiler. I'm not going to get into much more than that, actually how this happens, but it is actually a really good scene. How she's on the cusp of being defeated, how she's on the verge of maybe dying, and just one little thing, something that they hint at earlier. If you're listening to the conversation between her and Alex earlier in the film, she'll talk about something. So when this happens later on, you're like, oh, and you'll understand her motivation in that moment. So all in all, this is a good movie. The direction's good. The cinematography was excellent, especially, like I said, when they first enter the house and they're just setting all this stuff up. It's really great. The sound, I love the way the sound will just drown out at certain points. So it's just like static or very ear-piercing, like high-frequency sound. It's all great. It is. It's a really awesome movie that's really well done. I think it's definitely something to watch during the Halloween season, even if it's not a, per se, horror movie. I definitely recommend it. But you all have a great day. Thank you guys again for joining the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done already. Get all these stuff. Get the notifications. Join the nation, everyone. Have a great night. 1 week from Halloween. We're 1 week from Halloween. If you guys haven't already checked, later today, my preview and predictions, I believe, are going to be coming out today. My preview and predictions, if they haven't, they either came out yesterday or they're coming out today. I haven't decided in the time I'm recording this. But my preview and predictions for Hell in a Cell tomorrow night will be live on the channel. Just check and you'll see if they're there or not. And then tomorrow night, I will be live here on the channel immediately following the show to do my preview and predictions for to do my live review for Hell in a Cell. It actually looks like it might actually be a good show. So, also, next week, a bunch of videos coming out. Walking Dead review, another Supernatural review. I'm doing one more scary movie review for the week. And the final part to this countdown series. Not going to tell you guys what it is. You have to watch to find out when it goes live. Y'all have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy, and remember, love each other and join the nation. Have a good night.